We want to start out with what almost everyone is talking about, including myself. The Denver season of Love is Blind. Oh boy. We have dating expert and a good friend, Kimmy Seltzer, joins us today with more on why love isn't blind. So before we get into it, we might have some spoilers. So for anyone who hasn't caught up that, you've been warned, okay? I'm giving you 3 seconds. 2, 1. All right, Kimmy, I can't wait to talk to you. In this disastrous season, some of the couples made it down the aisle, but none of them made it to I do's. And I want to say, why did none of the couples tie the knot?
Oh, that's a loaded question.
I know.
Well, and you know what's interesting is that it wasn't just this show. Like, there was some statistic out there that said only 24% of the people from the shows of all the seasons moved on to marriage.
Is that right?
Yeah, so it wasn't just this. I think it was highlighted because obviously it was here in Denver.
For sure.
But, you know, love has a lot of layers, let's just say that.
It's like a tiramisu.
Yeah. Some layers are really sweet, some are not so sweet, but you have to look at all the layers to make it whole.
That's very, very true. Okay, do you think the cameras added pressure? Because at some point, like Edmund was saying, he's different off than on camera. What do you think?
Well, obviously, right? Like it's a snapshot into different world, and obviously the editing, they're going to show different aspects of, you know, like the drama that happened, and we don't know what happened behind the scenes kind of thing. But obviously the pressure of being in a container, literally a capsule container, and that pressure of I need to find love added to that psychologically. There's no doubt about it.
That need is always like right there.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, before the show, you mentioned to me the 4 C's to determine if love lasts. Everyone listen up. What are the 4 C's? I'm going to take some notes here.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, well, you know, when I work with clients, I work with both men and women, and I always do something called data dating, meaning that they have to collect data as they're dating. But it's really important to pace yourself so that you can collect the data to make healthy decisions and attract healthy relationships.
Smart.
So the first thing, I mean, and we even saw this in the capsules, like there has to be something compelling about the person, right? And whether it's looks when you're meeting somebody for the first time, and in the pod, obviously there were things that were said and it made somebody feel a certain way. It was enough to keep going.
Got it.
We see this in real life, right? There has to be that spark.
Yes.
The second C is chemistry.
I was going to say, when does chemistry come in? Yep.
Well, chemistry can come in hot and come in strong, and it can come in different forms and shapes. And when I have my people date, I actually have them look at 4 different pillars of chemistry, and they have to do a chemistry analysis to see where people are rated in those areas. And what I find is that when people are finding the chemistry in all different domains that has the same number, more evenly distributed, those are the ones that are successful.
Those are keepers.
So we have physical, we have intellectual, we have spiritual, and then we have emotional. Now, obviously, Love is Blind was really honing in on the emotional piece, right? And then we saw things build, and intellectual was there because they could talk to one another. Then we saw the physical happen. And I would say throughout the show, it kind of hovered there in the beginning of the chemistry.
Right.
So everyone was excited. They were on vacation. The sparks were flying. Yeah. But I don't think they were really paying attention to all 4 until the real life set in. And that is the other C, which is compatibility.
This is the big one. I know this one. All right. Tell me about that.
Yeah. Compatibility. Now, this is where it's meaty. This is where we see things last over time. You have to look at values, communication, how people live. We definitely saw that on the show.
Totally.
Right? Like you have to look at those things, and are you willing to give some things up that maybe you're used to?
Yeah.
And depending on where you come from, like as a therapist, it's really important for me to understand where people have been, because that creates patterns for where they're going to go.
I see.
And so if people are not compatible in those big areas, that's when we started seeing everyone kind of fall apart and unravel. Right?
Yes.
And then the final thing is, if you even get past that, is basically compromise. Because look, if you are dating later in life or in the golden years, chances are trauma has happened, bad relationships have happened, and everyone's trying to negotiate what they're willing to give up and not give up. Right. And so if somebody is not compatible in a certain area, are you willing to give something up and see each other halfway or not? And Also compromising within yourself.
Right.
That
right.
happens too.
Yeah, that's true. I think the fifth C was the chicken in the blender. That was so gross. That was not going to be compatible with me. Okay, so don't worry, everyone. Kimmy will be back later on in the show to talk about how dating can feel just as spooky as Halloween. And in the meantime,